Hi, good morning. It is now 9:30 on the 12th of November 2022. I finally believe that I got to sleep at around 2:30, 3 in the morning. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. And my little one, he actually woke me up at about 6:30, which wasn't uncommon for him to do. So I've probably had about 2, maybe 3 hours sleep. And living with bile acid malabsorption today, I managed to go to the bathroom about 5-10 minutes ago. So I'm literally so mentally and physically exhausted now due to sleep deprivation and obviously being in so much pain. And then finally going to the bathroom, which again was quite painful for me. But now I have been, I feel so much better in myself, even though I look like death and feel like I'm in so much pain still. But I just thought I would do a quick follow-up video to sort of explain what it's like the following day, so to speak, after you've had such a really rough night. Now, another thing I just want to briefly mention is the side effects of taking some of the medication I'm on. There are warnings on the labels. So please, if you are ever put on any medication, read the side effects. But what I find is when I have a lot of chemicals in my body that aren't natural, is I have these really strange dreams, and it is crazy, and they just seem so real. And part of me doesn't know whether it's really a dream or whether it's something that's really happened. But I'm 100% sure it was a dream because my son actually woke me up saying, "Mommy, Mommy, wake up, what are you doing?" And so to dream that I was in space and I was looking at the earth from above in a rocket has to have been a dream because I've never been to space as far as I know, and I've never been in a rocket. And I even spoke to a friend recently and I said to them that flying isn't something I actually enjoy. Put me on a train or on a boat any day of the week. But flying to me is just so boring. I hate it. I thought even when I went in a helicopter with my dad as a child that I was in my teens, and it had always been his dream to go in a helicopter. He'd never been in one. And so I went in with him. And I remember sitting by the door, and for the whole of the flight, there was a little child next to me with their mom and going, "Mommy, look at how small everything's getting. Isn't this amazing?" And I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh my God, I just hope the door doesn't open on me. I hope we don't crash." I just didn't enjoy the experience at all. I suppose it's different, like if you're flying it yourself. But again, aeroplanes, I just find them so boring. You end up sitting or standing or waiting in an airport for hours on end for a flight. Then you get on it and you have to sit in the seat and you're not allowed to move. You have to stay in your seat the whole time. And the best thing about flying is the taking off and the landing. When you look out the window, I remember my friend, she'd never been on a plane before, and we went to Cork. And she was like, "Oh my God, it's so fantastic! Look how everything is out the window." And I'm sitting there next to her, like, "Yeah, yeah, that's so fascinating. I really, really want to look out the window, knowing that I'm so high in the sky in a tin can. So, I don't have a fear of flying. I just find it so boring, and I think as well because when I have flown in the past, something's always happened. I don't want to scare anybody, but like the first time I went on a plane, it was to France. Um, and then I think I've probably, and then I went on a plane to Valencia, which was quite nice. Um, but unfortunately, when I ended up working abroad, I haven't really ever told anyone this, but I was actually sexually assaulted by this dirty old Frenchman in the elevator at Charles de Gaulle Airport. And because I didn't speak French that well, I didn't know how to report him. Plus, once he'd managed to get out of the elevator, he just kind of disappeared. So it's like, well, how would I even explain to somebody in a foreign country that I just got in this elevator and this dirty old guy sexually assaulted me? So, yeah, I think it was shock more than anything. And then obviously I had to get back on this plane to come home all by myself. I hadn't been home for 3 months because I was working abroad. And I think, to be honest, that's when a lot of my like mental health problems started. Especially like my OCD, PTSD, anxiety, and depression, because I'd had this thing happen to me and I wasn't really able to tell anybody or explain what had happened to me. I was lucky to be alive. I ended up working for a rogue travel company who basically lied to everybody, told you that you were going to be working in groups of two, you were going to be posted at um, campsites around France. And what ended up happening was they just basically took you to a campsite in the middle of nowhere. I ended up near Angers. So I ended up in the Loire Valley. It was great, it was fantastic, but I was on my own. And for 3 months solid, I literally was on my own in a country where I could barely speak the language. I had no way of contacting anyone at home. And I got really ill, and then they fired me. But I think, to be honest, I would have just left anyway because it was so bad. And it cost me something like almost 200 to £300 to get a flight home. Not to mention the fact that I had to pay to get to the airport from where I had been posted. So basically, I lived and worked in France for nothing for 3 months because the company's terms and conditions were that they would pay for your flight home once you had finished your 6 months contract. So please read the fine print if you ever consider working for somebody, especially if it ends up being abroad, because I was really screwed over. I wasn't the only person, everyone who worked for this company was screwed over. Um, Most of the people, we all lost contact with each other in the end because it was so traumatic for everybody. But everyone ended up paying to come home themselves that I ended up working with. We probably met each other for about 5 days, and then we were literally just drove to the middle of nowhere and just abandoned. So that's probably why I don't like flying, if I have to think about it, to be honest, because I kind of always associate flying with such a traumatic experience. And then when I went to Valencia, and also when I went to Paris with um, charitable organisations and stuff, I don't know what it was about me. I don't know what it is about me, but I was the only person whose bags got searched. I was the only person who ended up like having a metal detector put over me, having my shoes checked twice, having my bags searched, having my bags checked. I do recall that the alarm did go off, and it was from my batteries in my camera that were in my hand luggage. So I don't know what it is. Whenever I've been abroad, I always seem to get searched. So I wouldn't be very good if anyone tried to use me to do something I shouldn't, if that makes sense, which is probably why I would never do that. Because even my passport as well, people like they look at my name and then they look at my photograph and it's like, hang on a minute, you've got a Polish name, but you've got red hair and you're white. So they kind of look at me as if to say, hang on a minute, is your passport like counterfeit? But yeah, I have a friend who's Polish, and she's got blonde hair and blue eyes. So I don't like the fact that I feel discriminated, and so maybe that's why I don't like airports. Whereas with the train, you just get on it, you give the conductor your tickets, and it's done. But even then, I've had issues with trains in the past. I guess I'm just not that lucky, to be honest, when I travel. Um, yeah, I did have quite a traumatic experience on a train. But if I had to choose between flying, going by train, or going by ship somewhere, or cruise liner, I would probably have to pick cruise liner. Um, I guess it's because I like the sea so much, and I don't know. Maybe I just need a new perspective. Maybe if like my friend said, "Hey, trust me, I'll take you in a plane, and probably you'll enjoy it," then maybe I would. But because of having bile acid malabsorption, sorry, I did regret digress slightly. I think flying for me would be the worst thing because if I ended up being in the toilet for the entire flight, people wouldn't be too happy. And I probably would end up being arrested once we landed because they might think that I had drugs inside me or something, and I'd end up being strip searched and bloody cavity checked. So if I had to go anywhere, it would probably have to be somewhere like ship, because people kind of expect people to be in the bathroom because of seasickness. And again, on a train, my worry would always be that I would be in the bathroom and I'd miss the station, which I know I have done in the past. And to try and explain to the conductor on the platform or on the train, I'm really sorry I missed my stop, but I have a health problem and I needed to go to the bathroom. I have to actually carry a card with me now that says I have bile acid malabsorption, um, which I got from the charity organisation. So yeah, it's the following day, and I know that I'm waffling, and I can only apologise. So I'm going to shut up now and probably see if I can go back to sleep for a little while. So thank you for watching my videos, and again, if you have any questions or queries, don't hesitate to contact me. And please remember, I am not a doctor. I am just somebody who suffers with this illness/disability.